Hello, thank you for joining me for Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Aron, and I'm a certified Warriors at Ease yoga teacher. Today's all level yoga practice is designed to help you build strength and also to help you welcome a sense of ease and well being. And today we're going to get to start on our backs to get centered. So go ahead and lie down. And you can extend your legs out long if you want, or you can bend your knees. That feels better for your back. And if you bend your knees, you can take the feet out wide and let the knees rest against each other. Or if it feels good to you, you can do it the other way around. Let the feet touch and the knees open wide. So go ahead and settle in. Find a posture that helps you feel supported and at ease. And we'll start to let our minds focus on this present moment to start our practice. And we can do that by bringing our attention to all our senses, noticing what we're experiencing, what we can see and hear, smell, taste, what we can physically feel about being in this space. Maybe the support of the surface below you, or the feeling of air or clothing where it touches skin. And starting to notice the felt sense of your body itself, all the muscles and bones and joints and organs. And as you're bringing your awareness there, do you notice that you need to shift a little or make any small adjustments or movements to feel supported and at ease? Go ahead and make that adjustment, make that little movement, and see if you can settle back into stillness. Noticing in stillness that your body is breathing. It breathes all on its own. You don't have to think about it. The breath comes and goes without any additional effort. And see if you can notice that sense of the body breathing. Maybe you can notice the rise and fall of the chest and belly. You can even put your hands there if you want. That helps you sense that more fully. You might feel the breath moving past the nostrils or past the lips as you breathe in and breathe out. You may even feel the breath moving past the back of the throat. And you can stay here breathing your breath just as it is. You don't need to change anything. Or if you want, you can start to practice victory breath, or sometimes called courageous breath. And to do that, we're going to bring that awareness to that sensation of the breath on the back of the throat. And see if we can even intensify that sensation. So it sort of makes a soft sine sound. It's that same sensation you might feel if you're trying to fog a mirror with your breath. And if it helps to do that with your mouth open, you can open your mouth and inhale and then exhale. And you can hear it a little bit better with the mouth open. It's a little louder. And then you can keep that sensation as you inhale and exhale. And if you try this and it doesn't feel right to you, you can come back to breathing your natural breath. Or if you want to, keep that sensation and close the jaw. And breathe through the nose, keeping that sensation on the back of the throat. Now the breath still makes a sound, but it's a little bit softer. And you You can hold on to this breath as long as you'd like. You can release it at any time, come back to your natural breath. That soft sighing sound helps keep focus on the breath. And that little restriction that we make in the back of the throat helps lengthen and deepen the breath. We're going to start to add some movement to our breath. So however you're breathing, let's add some movement to it by drawing our knees in towards our chest and letting our hands rest right on top of our knees or on the thighs, just in front of the knees. And we're going to pull the knees in towards the chest. And you can feel your back flatten against the mat and your tailbone lift up. And then inhale, push the knees away, straighten the elbows, and your low back will start to arch and the tailbone will rock down on the mat. Exhale, pull the knees back in. So this is a gentle spinal warm-up. Inhale, push the knees away. Exhale, pull the knees back, and go ahead and do a couple of these on your own. Your breath might not be the same pace as mine, that's okay. Go at your own pace. Maybe once more. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then we can hug the knees in, maybe rock a little bit side to side, give that low back a massage. And then we're going to come up to seated. And you can do that by bringing your knees to one side and using your hands to press up. Or if you like to rock and roll, you can rock and roll forward and back until you're seated. And then we're going to come all the way over onto our hands and knees. And if you want to, you can start with big toes together and the knees wide. And then let the hips come back towards the heels. And they may touch, they may not. It's fine. Just come back as far as it feels okay for your knees. And then walk the hands forward and round through the back, bringing the forehead down. And you can bring it all the way down to the mat, or you can cross the arms or stack the fists. This is a child's pose. Some people consider this a resting pose. So you can come back to this anytime you want during our practice, anytime you want to rest or catch your breath or get refocused. Or if there's another posture that helps you feel rested, you can come back there. Whatever works for you. This is your practice. And here at the beginning of our practice, if you want to take a moment to welcome in any intention or any focus for the practice today, you can. My intention is to welcome gratitude. So you can join me for that if you want, or find whatever your intention is. And then on the next inhale, let's look up and bring our hands onto the mat and step the knees until they're right underneath the hips. So we want the spine to be long. Wrists are under shoulders, fingertips are spread wide. We're already getting sort of an energizing feeling by pressing down into the earth through our fingertips. Feeling the arms energized so that we can lengthen through the body, top of the head in front, tailbone behind. Our back is like a tabletop. And we even are energized through this trunk of our body to keep the belly lifted and the spine long. And then we're going to continue that warm up with the spine. Inhaling, letting the belly soften, lifting the chest, lifting the tailbone. The arms are still strong. Exhale, rounding through the back. Inhale, lift into this cow posture. Back is arched. Exhale, round through the back into cat. And again, go ahead and do this on your own. You can do a couple more at your own pace. Just waking everything up. And one more exhale. And then come back to flat back to that long spine. I'm going to move forward a little bit. And we're going to keep ourselves so that our shoulders are square to the mat. And we're going to stretch that right foot back behind us. Tucking the toes under, stretching through the heel. Imagine we're trying to press that right heel back towards the wall behind us. You can stay here just like this. You don't need to change anything. But if you want to, you can lift the toes off the ground and lift the heel. The farthest up we want to lift it is in line with the back. So we don't need to come up super high, just in line with the back. So we have a nice line from the top of the head all the way through the heel. You can stay here like this, or we can start to add a little movement. We can exhale, bring the nose to the knee, round through the back, inhale, extend. We can do that again. Exhale, round the back, nose to knee, inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. And let's bring that knee back down. If you want to take a break in child's pose, you can, or you can stay here. We're going to bring that to the other side. So stretching left heel back, tucking the toes under. Let's lean through that heel. Feel that sensation on the back of the leg. And see where else you feel sensation there. I even feel this on the front of that left thigh, that quadricep starts to activate. Do you feel that? And then you can keep the toes here, or if you want, you can lift them. See if you can keep your body strong right here through the center. See if you can keep that hip even. There's a tendency to want to lift that hip up. See if you can keep the hips square, toes pointing to the earth. You can stay here. If you want to add that movement, you can. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Can you slow your movement down to match your breath? Maybe even bring in that courageous breath. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. And exhale. Let's bring that knee back. Again, if you want to take a break for a little moment, you can come back to child's pose. And then we're going to start to bring this up. Oh, no, I got ahead of myself. We're going to do a lunge here. Sorry about that. So from tabletop, we're going to step that right foot forward and bring the ankle right underneath the knee. So we're in a lunge. And then let's lengthen through the top of the head. So we're going to press down through that right foot. You can use your thigh to help you come up. You can use a block. See if we can get nice and tall over that left knee. If you need to put a little extra cushion under your knee, you can. Maybe a rolled up towel. All right. Let's reach arms up. Or not. If you want to keep hand here for steadiness, you can. And we're going to add a twist. So first we're going to twist towards that bent right knee. And your hands can come to the outside of your thigh, outside of your hip. See if you can keep the spine long. If you feel like you're having to round the back, maybe don't twist quite so far. Come to where you can keep the spine long. Draw the belly in to keep the spine lengthened. And breathe here. And let's release. And let's twist the other direction. A little counter pose. And then come back to the middle, and we're going to switch sides. So if you want to switch from up here, again, you could use a block and switch from here. Or if you want to have your hands down and step through and then come up, either way is fine. Let's just see if we can get that right knee right over the ankle and then get our body centered right over that right knee. So we're nice and tall. Get steady. Feel the breath here. And then next exhale, let's twist towards that bent left knee. And as you're twisted, you should still be able to breathe. If you twist so far that you feel like you have to hold your breath or your breath is strained, that's your body sending you a message. You've gone deeper than you need to. Back out a little bit. More is not always better. Come back to where you can breathe. Inhale back. And then exhale, let's do that counter twist. And then inhale back to the center. Hands frame that front foot. We'll come back to tabletop. Now we're going to make our way up to standing. So let's slide our hands a little bit forward. So the wrists aren't right underneath the shoulders now, they're just a little bit in front of the shoulders. Our fingertips are still spread wide. Let's tuck our toes under. Draw the navel in. Let's use that strength around the core of our body to lift the knees up, but they're still bent. And then we're going to push the mat away and lengthen through our spine into an inverted V, a downward facing dog. Hips are high. And then if you want to start to bring the heels down towards the mat, you can. But see if you can keep the spine long. If you have to round your back to straighten your legs, then bend your knees. And you can even play with this a little. Bend one knee and draw the other heel down, and then switch sides like you're walking out this dog. And then come back to being still. We'll step the feet a little bit farther apart and walk the hands and feet together until we're in a forward fold with soft knees. Go ahead and bend those knees. Hands can be on the mat, or if you do have a block, you could use a block to rest your hands. Or if not, you can press against the front of the legs. Or if you like gravity to help here, you can grab the elbows and hang, maybe sway a little bit. And if any of that starts to make you feel dizzy, go ahead, bend the knees, drop the hips, press against the top of the thighs with the hands so that you can raise your head up above your heart. You can still round through the back here, bring the tailbone down towards the earth, but without having your head below your heart. See if that helps alleviate that. We are going to release in our neck and shoulders, so let the top of the head be heavy. Maybe shake head yes or shake head no. And then we'll slide our hands to our hips, press into our heels, bend our knees even more, and activate the thighs. Let's come up to standing and shake that out. Beautiful. We're going to work on some of our warrior postures. So let's come forward on our mat and bring the feet back to hips distance. Toes are pointing forward, and press down through our feet, through the heels, through the outside edges, through the big toes. Activate those legs as we press down. See if you can feel that sensation in the thighs, in the seat, moving up the sides of the body. The spine is long all the way through the top of the head. And then we're going to match that energizing feeling with some ease, letting the forehead soften, letting the jaw soften, letting the shoulders release away from the ears. Turning the arms in the shoulder sockets so that the belly of the arms, the palms of the hands face forward. Feel how that opens the chest. Shoulder blades slide down the back. And we're going to soften through the knees just enough that our knees aren't locked out. So we're using that energy of our legs to stay strong, not locking out the joints. And let's take a breath here. Next inhale, let's step the right foot back and bend the left knee. So we're going to come into a high lunge. And if you have any gear on your mat, just make sure it's out of your way before you step back. I don't want you to trip on anything. Our back heel is lifted to start, and you're squeezing through the front of this right thigh. That keeps the leg lifted, and you may even feel some openness in that right hip crease. Hands can stay low. Let's take a breath here to get steady, and then we're going to change it. We're going to shift that back foot, open the right toes a little bit to the right, maybe like they're pointing towards the front right corner of the mat. And we're going to press all the way down through the outside edge and the heel of that back foot as we keep the body rotated forward. And if you need to wiggle that left foot a little bit out to give yourself a little room to rotate, go ahead, you can make that adjustment. Notice what you feel here. Maybe bring back in that courageous breath. Hands can stay where they are. They can come to your hips, or they can reach overhead. One more breath. We're going to change this again. We're going to bring the hands behind the back. You can interlace the fingers and draw the knuckles down the back of the leg, or you can grab the wrists or the forearms. So we have an open chest here, and we're going to keep that openness, and we're going to fold. And as we fold, instead of letting our chest land on the thigh, we're going to shift just a little to bring the chest to the inside of the thigh. So the left shoulder's by the left knee. Let's let the top of the head be heavy again. This is called humble warrior. One more breath. Let's release the hands. You can bring the hands next to the foot, or again, you can bring a block here. And we're going to start to straighten that front leg. So we're folding over that front leg. You can also put your hands on the leg. You may feel this in the back of that left thigh or hamstring here. And if you feel like you need to intensify this, you can ground down through that left heel and lift the ball of the foot up. But remember, more isn't always better. So if you already feel some resistance there, just breathe into that. Maybe bring back in that courageous breath. One more breath. Let's bend that front knee. Let's pivot through that back foot. We're back in a lunge. Come up tall and step forward back to mountain. Take a breath here. Settle back into mountain. Notice what your body feels like. Notice what your breath feels like. We're going to move to the other leg. Inhale, step left foot back, bend right knee. Squeezing through the front of that thigh. Let that energy come all the way through that left heel, just like it did when we were stretching that foot back at tabletop. Getting steady here. And then let's pivot through the back foot. Find ourselves back in that warrior one stance. So our hips might want to try to open. Can we rotate to keep ourselves towards the front? Maybe wiggle that right foot over to give yourself a little more room. And feeling strong through that back leg by pressing all the way through the outside edge, the heel. Notice what you feel here. If you want, you can lift arms overhead. And bringing hands behind the back. Lifting to open the chest, inhale, and then exhale, fold. Remember, you're going to turn just a little bit so that right shoulder comes near the right knee. Breathing here. And then we can release the arms. And start to straighten that right leg. May not come all the way straight, that's fine. And remember, if you need to move up a little higher, you can use a block or the front of your leg. And if you want to add more intensity, you can lift the ball of the foot. It's not required. Just giving you places you can try, things you can experiment with. Let's bend that front knee, pivot through the back foot, press through that right foot. That's how we energize to come back up. And then give it a little bounce to make your way back to mountain. And then we can shake that out. We're going to move through Warrior 2 as well today. So to come into that, let's step our feet wide. Stepping them so wide that if you have your arms extended, the ankles will be right under the wrists. And we're going to point the toes right to the front of the mat. Our body is centered right over the pelvis. And then let's pivot the right foot and turn the toes to point to the right side of the mat. If you looked at your right heel and drew a line straight back, it would intersect the ball or the instep of your left foot. That's going to help with balance. And then let's start to bend that right knee. It may come just a little bit, that's fine. You may be able to have that range of motion where it comes right over the ankle, that's fine too. If you find that it's coming way out over the ankle, back it off a little bit or maybe wiggle that foot forward to give yourself a little more room. We just don't want it hanging over the ankle. You still want the body to face the same direction as your left toes. So if you find yourself turning here, see if you can rotate back. And check this right knee. Sometimes when we open the body this way and bend the knee this way, the knee tries to dip in. See if you can use that strength in your thighs, in your seat, and keep it aligned with that second and third toe. And then let's turn and look over the right shoulder. Take a breath here in this Warrior 2 stance. Turn that right palm to the sky. Reach forward like you're about to grab something off a shelf and then tilt back. We're going to look up at that right palm. That right knee stays bent. That back leg stays strong. We're pressing all the way through the outside edge of that left foot. Your left hand can be on your hip or it can slide down that left leg. One more breath. Inhale back to Warrior 2. Exhale, keep cartwheeling the arms. Right hand might rest on your right thigh. Right forearm might rest on the right thigh. You can even start to bring that right hand further down towards the earth or maybe onto a block on the inside of that right foot. But make sure if you come down low that that doesn't sacrifice that openness. If you start to dip that left shoulder forward, come up higher so that you have room to stay rotated. Left hand can stay at your side, or you can come into that extension, stretching left bicep by the left ear. Feel that long line from the fingertips all along the left side body, all the way till you're grounding down through that left foot. And then inhale, let's cartwheel back up. Straighten that right leg, turn the toes back to the front. Whew, take a breath, inhale here. Exhale, lower the arms back down. Let's do that sequence on the other side. Turning toes to the side, bending the knee, looking out over fingertips. Take a couple breaths, get settled in. Left palm to the sky, reach and tilt, peaceful warrior. Inhale and exhale, cartwheel back into side angle. You can even come into that extended side angle or not. Make sure you keep that rotation in the body. And breathe. Long line all along the right side body, all the way to where you feel where you're rooting down through the outside edge of that right foot. And then inhale, let's come back up, straighten the leg, and let's heel toe the feet. Not quite all the way back to the middle. Let them stay just a little wider than the shoulders, and this time the toes open up wide. And inhale, let's reach up. And exhale, let's come into a squat. So this is a goddess pose. If our hips are higher than our knees, hands can rest on our thighs or on just above our knees, and we can even press against the inside to open up through the hips. Let's see if we can keep the chest lifted. And another option here, if you want to drop the hips below the knees, you can press the elbows to the insides of the knees. This is garland. Let's take a breath and then come all the way down. And we get to come back to our backs. Knees are bent, feet are on our mat, and we're going to slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Oh, and we're back on the mat, back where we started at the beginning. We're going to do a little bit more openness and one more twist. So let's put our right ankle over left knee. This is figure 4. You can stay here just like this. Rest in stillness, let gravity help open. As you cool down, we had a pretty energetic practice. Or if you want to, you can lift the left foot up and hug the legs in a little bit more. And if you're here, you might find that there's some time to do a little bit of movement through the joints on the left side. And then let's bring that left foot back down if you lifted it. Let the arms come out to the side, press the shoulder blades down so we're staying rooted down through the shoulder blades and letting our legs fall over to the left. So we're coming into a spinal twist. If you need to shift your hips or change the crossing of the legs, you can even uncross the legs. That's fine. And if the feet don't come all the way down, that's okay. You can use a block or a rolled up blanket or towel to support the legs. There you go. One more breath. Let's come back to center. Inhale. We're going to switch sides. Right foot down, left ankle over right knee. Again, you can stay here just like this, or you can hug that in. Maybe make some movements here. If there's any place you feel like you need to have some movement before you rest, go ahead. And then the left or right foot can come back down. Once more, rooting through the shoulder blades. See if we can keep that connection as we let the legs fall over. So a little twist here. And again, if you want to use some support or change your hips a little bit, go ahead, adjust so that this feels right for you. And then inhale back to center. Uncross the legs, give yourself a little hug here. And then if there's any other movement or any other shape that you want to come into to be at ease and rest, find that first. And then once you're ready, go ahead and settle into a posture where you can rest for a few minutes. And you can rest here as long as you'd like. Our time for our practice together is coming to an end. So if you want to pause this and just rest for as long as you want, you're welcome to do that. And then I'll lead us back out whenever you're ready. You can stretch or make small movements. Maybe deepen your breath. Notice how you feel. Notice if there's anything from your practice today that you want to take with you into your daily life or into your next practice. And when you're ready, you can gently make your way back to seated, finding a sense of gratitude and extending that gratitude to yourself, taking time today for your health and wellness. I thank you for sharing your practice with me, for joining Operation Remote Resilience. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. This video will be available to the public shortly on the Warriors at Ease YouTube channel. So subscribe so that you don't miss any of our classes. And please consider visiting the link in the description below and making a donation so that we can continue to make these classes free for all. It's viewers like you that let teachers like me continue to offer these services. So this is Aron signing off of Operation Remote Resilience in health, resilience, and connection. Thank you.